back to my channel and another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laureen. For today's video, I'm going to be going over all of my newborn must-haves. These are my personal favorites. These are items that I used with my first daughter and I'm going to be using with my second daughter. So with that being said, let's just jump right into this video. So starting off, I am about, I don't know why I can never remember how many weeks I am unless I look at my phone. So I'm 25 weeks and 6 days. By the time you see this video, I will be 26 weeks. So I pretty much have everything that I need for baby number 2 at this point. Just a few items here and there, but like I said, I'm going to be using all of my favorites from my first baby and I'm going to be using them for the second. So I have my list here and it looks really long on camera, but starting off, number one must have, everyone has to have this, is the car seat. So for the car seat, we went with the Nuna Mix travel system. So what that is the Nuna Pippa Light car seat, and it comes with the stroller, the base for the car seat, the adapter for the stroller so you can put the car seat right on the stroller, and then the toddler seat part to the stroller. That's a lot, I know. But this was one of the items that I was so nervous about because, I mean, I feel like it's the most important item that you're gonna need, that you have to have. So I wasn't sure even where to start. Luckily, my mother-in-law was on top of it and she was like, we're gonna get the Nuna, it's the lightest and it's the greatest and it's the best. So I didn't know much about it, so I kind of looked into it, but she knew. So she went ahead and got it for us and it was an amazing gift. And I'm actually going to be using that one for this baby since it hasn't expired yet, but it's seriously so light and the stroller part is really light too. So that was really nice, and when it folds up, it doesn't take up much space in your car. So that was another huge selling feature. Only downfall to that particular stroller is that it does not convert into a double stroller. So I'm gonna have to end up getting a toddler infant stroller, which I'm already kind of looking into. I think I might have one picked out, still trying to debate. But anywho, another story for another video. Next, I would say would be the seat covers for your car. I have these all categorized, so if you're like, why is that at the top of your list? It's just, I'm going by category. So the seat protectors for your car, my husband and I both lease our cars, so these seat covers are really nice to protect our seats and it avoids wear and tear, any scratches, any dents, any damages. So that way when we turn our cars in, they'll still look brand new and we won't be charged extra for anything. Next, I would say is the car seat cover. If you're having your baby in winter like I did with Layla, my first, I had her in December. So even though the Nuna car seat comes with a little flap that goes over, it's still like, it's ventilated, it's not totally covered, so I felt like I still needed something extra. So I got the cover, and this cover was like, it wore many faces. You can wear it as a cover up when you're nursing, or you can use it as a cover for the shopping cart when you're out shopping, or the booster seat when you're at a restaurant. So this one was really nice. I only really kind of used it for the car seat part because I ended up getting a separate cover for when I go to grocery shopping and stuff. I didn't realize that I could have used it until like down the road. Next, I would say would be the mirrors for your back car seats. So when the baby's rear facing and you can't really see her and you're wondering, is she okay? She is okay. These work great. So like if my husband was driving and I was in the passenger seat, I can kind of look back there and see if she was sleeping or awake or if she spit up, because she was constantly spitting up. And then if I was driving, I can just kind of look in my rear view mirror and I can see her and see if she was okay. So the mirrors that go on the headrest of the back seat are a must have. Okay, so next, moving on to the feeding department. So breastfeeding. I unfortunately did not have a successful breastfeeding journey, but when I was trying to breastfeed, I went ahead with the Spectra S2 breast pump and I used that I breastfed for about the first 2 months. I tried really hard. Like, again, another story, another video, but the Spectra S2 is an amazing breast pump, and actually I'm going with the Spectra S1 this time around, and the only main difference is that the S1 can be battery operated, whereas the S2 couldn't. So I figure this time, since I'm going to be having 2 kids, if I need to like scurry away and into another room and I'm not near an outlet, the battery operated part is going to be fantastic. Then moving on to bottles. At first we were using the Dr. Brown bottles and they were okay. I thought they were good, but then I tried the Avent anti-colic bottles and she seemed to love those way better, and I actually still use those. She still has like 1 bottle in the mornings when she wakes up, so I still use those ones. I even tried switching to just the regular Avent bottles and she did not like those. I don't know if it was the nipple. I'm assuming it was more so the nipple, but she did not like those ones. The anti-colic ones, for whatever reason, she just loves them. Her favorite bottle. She never wanted to drink out of any other bottles. Next up, maternity bras. I went through so many different kind of maternity bras just because I'm a little bit heavier up top, so I had ordered like so many different kinds before I even had her, and then I ended up settling on, I'm not sure the name, I'm gonna have to look it up, but they were from Walmart, and I think I'm actually gonna be ordering some more because they were really comfortable and they actually worked. The other kind I had got sucked. They broke in the hospital. I put one on in the hospital the day we were supposed to be coming home and the strap popped. So maternity bras, nursing bras, super important. You're gonna want easy access, quick access. So those are really important. If you're going to be formula feeding or even just like taking your pumped milk out of the fridge or out of the freezer, a bottle warmer. I still use the bottle warmer till this day. I don't know how we even tried to go without it. I was very adamant that I was going to just exclusively breastfeed, so I didn't want a bottle warmer. I never got one. I didn't even put it on my registry. But then as we started feeding her formula more, I realized I needed one, and we got one. My mother-in-law actually got it for us just because I was just so depressed about the whole breastfeeding thing. But we were originally just like warming up my pumped milk that was in the fridge, like getting a bowl of hot water. We would sit there in the middle of the night, wait for the water to get hot, running it under the sink. It was a disaster. So definitely get a bottle warmer if you're going to be using like pumped milk from the fridge or the freezer or whatever your case may be. Nipple pads. You're gonna want nipple pads, especially when you start to leak and not even realize it. Like in the beginning, I would start leaking. I had no idea. I remember my sister was in town and she was like, you're leaking. So definitely nursing pads. I would just keep them in my bra. I had I think it's Lanuche. And they're sticky on one side, but I never even use the sticky part because it would just move around in my bra, so I would just kind of place it in there and it worked just fine. A bottle sponge for your baby's bottles. I use a separate sponge. I don't use the sponge that I use for like the rest of the dishes. I keep her sponge and her soap, which is also another must-have, the Dapple soap. I at first was not using it. I didn't know about it, and then I realized that I felt like I should be using something a little more gentle. So I discovered the Dapple, and it's amazing. It's free and clear of everything. So I love that one. That along with the sponge is exclusively for the baby, and I keep it off to the side. I don't mix it with anything. And the sponge, you might want to go get a new one every few months, I would say, just because they start to like fall apart and look dingy and get dirty and gross. So definitely want to switch them up every few months. If you are going to be nursing or breastfeeding or pumping, lactation cookies. At first I was buying them from Target, and then I kind of wanted to like control the sugar a little bit more and just add a little bit more ingredients that I felt like was going to encourage my milk supply, so I ended up making them myself. But lactation cookies, however, whether you buy them already made or make them yourself, I just kind of went on Pinterest and just searched for lactation cookies and found a recipe, and then she just kind of tweaked it to my liking. So pacifier. Now, when I was in the hospital, I didn't want a pacifier. I didn't want them to give her a pacifier. And when I came home, I didn't give her one. It was about maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, she was about 2 weeks old. and that's when her acid reflux started kicking in, and she was just very colicky and gassy and just miserable. And my mom was like, just give her a pacifier, like just it'll calm her. So I caved in, gave her a pacifier. She did not like it. She hated pacifiers, but it would help her. So it would help soothe her, calm her. It would help with her acid reflux. So she took a pacifier for about a month or two, maybe, not even, and she hated it. I mean, as soon as I would like bring it out to bring it towards her face, she would start freaking out and crying. So that didn't work, but I would still recommend it. I would wait maybe like few weeks after you've been trying to breastfeed, once the baby's figured out what they're supposed to do, because you don't want to cause nipple confusion. That was my main thing. I didn't want to cause nipple confusion, so that's why I was very anti-pacifier. But once they figure it out, then you can start introducing the pacifier. Okay, leaving the feeding department and moving on to, I don't know, I'll just say this is just everything else newborn must-haves, but pack and play. We actually ended up having to buy 2 pack and plays, one for downstairs and one for upstairs, because being a first-time mom, I didn't really know much about the whole newborn sleeping thing. I mean, I knew everything about safe sleeping, that I knew, but as far as like the bassinet and what kind and how is she gonna take. Okay, so my camera died mid-sentence, but what I was saying was the pack and play and bassinet part. We had a bassinet and she hated it. She slept in it the first night and I was like, oh, this is so great, this is so cute. Night 2, as soon as I would lay her down, she would scream. She would hate it. So I quickly realized she hated being so flat because of her acid reflux. So we ended up, we would put her for naps in the bassinet that came with the pack and play. It was propped up just a tiny bit, which is not recommended, but it was the only way to get her to lay comfortably. So she ended up just sleeping in the bassinet part to the pack and play, so that's why we ended up having to get 2. And this particular one also came with a changing table, so I had a C-section, so it was nice to have downstairs. I would just change her on that changing pad that was attached to the pack and play downstairs, and then once I healed, I was able to bring her up and change her in her nursery. But having that pack and play downstairs was a lifesaver, and like I said, we ended up getting a second one for upstairs, and I actually still have the one up that she kind of hangs out in it when I'm like getting ready in the morning or tidying up. That way she's not running around and I lose sight of her. So the pack and plays I've literally been using since day 1, and it wasn't expensive. It was maybe like $110, no more than like $110. So definitely got our money's worth out of that. The bassinet, not so much. I'm currently trying to hunt down a different bassinet. I think I might have found one, but then again, like I was saying about the stroller, I just kind of want to make sure that I'm 100% with this bassinet. Swaddles, Velcro swaddles. Oh my God. My husband and I sucked at swaddling like the traditional way with the receiving blanket. The nurse in the hospital showed us literally like a dozen times every day and we just couldn't get it down. So I had already had Velcro swaddles on my baby registry, and that's what we used until she outgrew them. And when she outgrew them, I went with the Halo sleep sack that had the wings, and then when she outgrew that one, she now sleeps in the Halo sleep sack, just like it kind of looks like a vest, and then it's like a blanket in her Halo sleep sack. So that she loves. Plus what I like about it is that when we put it on her now, she just knows it's either time for nap time or bedtime. But when she was a newborn, the Velcro swaddles would calm her and soothe her. Her arms would be flaring everywhere. Her natural reflexes would wake her up. So plus they were so easy to get her in and strap her up in. Zipper onesies do not get buttons. They do have magnetic ones that I found out about later on. So those maybe, I didn't try them because she was already older, but zipper onesies. We had so many button ones and it didn't even cross my mind. I didn't even think about it. But trying to align those buttons in the middle of the night when you're like half asleep, no. Stay away from button onesies, zipper onesies all the way. Receiving blankets, whether if you want to use them as swaddles or not, I use them to just lay on my shoulder and hold her because like I was mentioning, she had acid reflux really bad. She was constantly spitting up, throwing up. So those receiving blankets were amazing. I don't know how many times I had to change my clothes. I'd get her dressed, I'd get myself dressed, and then she would spit up on both of us. So those receiving blankets saved a few outfits. Burp cloth, same thing. She would spit up, I would keep a burp cloth on my shoulder. Or like when she was, you know, just spit up, wipe her face with, I always had those handy. I still have them handy now because now when she's snacking or whatever, her hands get messy or her mouth gets messy, I wipe her up with them. So those burp cloths, again, gotten my money's worth out of. Bibs, same thing. Along with the burp cloths, I always had a bib on her because she was either drooling or, like I was saying, spitting up. So I always had a bib on her. Another one of those that I got my money's worth out of because we were constantly switching out the bibs all day long. Baby mittens. Now this one is probably a little controversial. I know they say that you shouldn't put baby mittens on them because it's possible choke hazard. This is my personal opinion. When she was a newborn, she couldn't take those off. So plus, like I was saying, she was born in December, so she needed mittens on. She was cold all the time. So I kept her in baby mittens in my sight though. I didn't put her to like sleep in them or anything. It was just when we were in the living room together, either myself or my husband, our eyes were on her. So that's when we would have the baby mittens on. White noise machine. I still use it till this day. In the beginning, when she was first born, we would play white noise on our phones while her white noise machine was in her nursery. And then I quickly realized, like, why don't we just use this in our bedroom? So we brought it in our bedroom, and then when I transitioned her to her nursery around 3 months, I moved it in there, and she still uses it till this day. Like, she knows when she hears that, it's time to go to sleep. Plus, it blocks out other noise. So, like, if we're talking or if the TV's on, or my husband still works from home, so she doesn't really hear him, it blocks out all the other noise. DockATot, another one that I know is like controversial. I used it only in my sight. So when we were in the living room and I had her on the couch, I would have her on the DockATot. I would be sitting right next to her. Once she got a little bit bigger, like around 3 months, that's when I did put it in her crib, and she slept in it in her crib. But we had the baby monitor on all the time. I'm constantly watching her. Like you guys just saw, I always have the iPad in front of me. I'm constantly watching her. So if she would even slightly turn her head, I would go running in her nursery and check to make sure her mouth wasn't too close or anything like that. So the DockATot, I loved it. She loved it. When I would put her in it, she would just feel nice and secure. So I do plan on using it with this baby, and I will be using it the same way, like only in my sight. The Baby Frida kit. We got the one that came with the peri bottle. I didn't end up having a natural birth, so I didn't use that one much. Plus the hospital had gave me a bottle. So I had brought that home with me and used that one when I did feel like I needed it. But it came with nail clippers, a thermometer, the Windy, the nose sucky thing where you can suck the boogers out of, and something else I'm forgetting. But that one was another great one. I still use majority of the stuff that came in that kit. I still use the nail clippers, the boogie sucky thing, the Windy we used in the beginning when she was a newborn. So yeah, I would say that one is great. I wouldn't, instead of buying everything separate, you can just buy a sorted kit. The baby bathtub. She was so tiny when she was born. She was 7 pounds, and I know you're probably like, oh, that's average, but I just felt like she was so tiny. And having that Fisher-Price bathtub that came with like the little hammock, and then once she outgrew the hammock, we put her right in the tub that had like a little, I don't know what to call it, but it was like a little stopper, a little booster stopper. And then once she outgrew that, we took that part out. And then once she outgrew the tub completely, we put her straight in the tub. So she used that little baby bathtub for probably like the first 10, 11, maybe even the first year, because I was just so nervous about putting her straight into the bathtub. I was so nervous she was gonna fall over and drown. Just typical first mom paranoia. As for shampoos and bath wash and body wash, I love the Noodles and Boo brand. We get it from, I believe, Nordstrom, and it's amazing. I've tried using other brands on her, and it broke her out. She was covered in like these bumps and this rash and hives. So the Noodles and Boo I've been using for a while now, since she was born. I still use it till this day, and it's amazing. It smells good, it's gentle, and she loves it. A wipe warmer. This is another one that I remember when I was trying to add it to my registry. So many people were like, it's a waste, don't waste your money, it sucked, blah, blah, blah. But I still use it till this day, since she was a newborn till now. It keeps her wipes warm. I mean, who wants to put an ice cold wipe on a little baby? Especially in the middle of the night when she would wake up in the middle of the night screaming, crying. The last thing I want to do is shock her with a cold, wet wipe. So the wipe warmer, like I was saying, I still have it in her room till this day. And I actually just ordered another one for this baby because I didn't want to take it away from Layla and give it to this baby. I want them to have their own warmers. Plus, I like it too. I hate grabbing a cold wipe. So the wipe warmer, another one, money's worth, must have. I couldn't imagine going without it. Baby monitor. We have the Nanit, and there's so much to talk about when it comes to this baby monitor. So I think I might even just do a separate video talking about that one. But we have the Nanit baby monitor, and it works over Wi-Fi. And we've only really had one or two real issues with it. And the one time was because we lost power on our street, so duh. But another time was, I think we were having issues with our Wi-Fi through our Wi-Fi provider. So other than that, never had really any real issues. It's amazing. It's so detailed. There's so many options. Like, you can get a swaddle and hook it up and monitor your baby breathing that way. I didn't know about that in the very beginning. And then once I had moved her into her nursery, I highly considered it. But at that point, I felt like she was okay. So I didn't want to go backwards and be more paranoid. So I didn't go with it. But they have a swaddle. They have so many other accessories. And so as you can see, it says, you know, my husband's logged into this one. So it says, hey dad, I've been asleep for an hour now. And you can see her totally fine. It's so clear. And then there's like the whole breathing thing down here. And then at the top, it tells you like the time, the temperature, her little name. And we're actually going to be getting a second one and using that one for the second baby. I don't know how two are going to work yet. I've been meaning to actually go to like Bye Bye Baby or somewhere and talk to someone and see how having two of them works. I'm hoping that it'll just be a split screen, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. But the Nanit baby monitor, any baby monitor is a must-have, but the Nanit I felt has just been so amazing. Laundry detergent. You want to wash your baby's clothes separate from the laundry detergent you'll be using for yourself. In the beginning, I got Dreft, and then later on found out how awful Dreft was. So this time around, I am going to be right off the bat using, I believe I'm going to try, I think it's 7th generation. It's free of any dyes and free, it's all clear. So I think I'm going to be going with that one. This is another random miscellaneous, but a belly binder for you, mom, if you have a C-section. I had a C-section. I kind of figured I was going to because she was breached really early on, and even though everyone was like, it's still early, she'll flip, she never flipped. And then I had gestational diabetes, and then I had extremely high blood pressure, so I had to have a C-section. And the belly binder, they were like, we'll give it to you right away, we'll give it to you right away. They forgot, they didn't put it on me right after surgery. I didn't end up getting it until like 2 days after I had her. And once they put it on, like, I could feel the difference. I was like, oh, my belly feels so much better. It's not all loosey-goosey and in pain. So make sure you ask for that belly binder the hospital gives you if you're having a C-section. And then I also purchased one on my own. I believe I got it from Target, and it's the Detox something. I also wore that over the one that the hospital gave me. These next few items are kind of like from newborn and as they grow. First thing I say is the activity mat. You want to start doing tummy time right away just so that they build those neck muscles. We had a couple different activity mats. We had one, and then I ended up buying another one, and we would go back and forth just so she wouldn't get bored staring at the same little toys all the time. Even though she never really did get bored, like, she would always find something new to touch or play with. So the activity gyms mats are definitely a must-have to have for tummy time and just get them ready to start rolling over and so forth. Diaper bag. I totally forgot about the diaper bag. You're going to want a diaper bag. I have one. It's kind of like the backpack style. sale. I still use it till this day. I tried like putting my stuff in there too, but I just have so much stuff, so I still have to keep my separate purse. But if you're, you know, simple, you don't need a lot of things, you can just kind of use the diaper bag as your own purse too. But in there, I'm gonna probably do another video and show you guys what all I keep in there because it is a lot. But I feel like the diaper bag is a must-have. Snacks, her diapers, her extra clothes, like I was saying, her acid reflux. I would always have to have receiving blankets and burp cloths and the whole nine. So diaper bag is a must. I don't know how people go without one. I'm like, you're good. I'm not that prepared. Never will be. A bounce seat. We had this bounce seat, and then I want to say maybe when she was about a month old, I finally brought it out and was like, let's just put this together and see if she'll like it. And it was a saving grace. I had her in it all the time. I would bring it to the kitchen and she would just kind of hang out in it while I was cooking or cleaning or doing the dishes, or if I was just needing to put her down for a second and do something. And she loved that little bouncy seat. And then she got old enough to the point where she would just kind of bounce herself in it. So that was really nice. This time around, I was going to use it for this baby, but then I came across something at Target, the Fisher-Price rocker. It kind of looks like a bouncer seat, but it kind of rocks back and forth. So I haven't gotten it yet. I just ordered it a couple days ago. So once I get that, I'll probably be putting that together and show you guys. So that's kind of another like bouncer must-have type of things, because it is somewhere where you can put the baby in. And she can grow into this one. It's nice. They can use it when they're a toddler. And then last but not least is a swing. We had the swing, we had a couple different ones, but she really liked the one that went back and forth, like a traditional swing. We had one that went side to side, but she did not like that one. She liked the one that went back and forth. When she was getting super fussy and I just couldn't calm her, I would put her in this and she would swing back and forth and just doze off. And she would take like little cat naps in it, maybe like 10-15 minutes, just enough to calm her down. And it was great. She loved it. It would soothe her. I don't know what it was about this thing, but it was amazing. That is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. I really hope it was also helpful. I know when I was starting out my baby registry after I found out I was pregnant, I had no idea what I needed, and these kind of videos were always helpful just to see what other moms were using. And even if you're a second time mom like myself, or third or fourth or fifth or whatever, it's also nice to see like, what did I not use the first time around that I could use this time around? It could help me. So I really hope you really enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. Still trying to reach those first 100 subscribers. So if you can subscribe and turn your notifications on, it would mean the world to me. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.